All right, the Audible is on the air on this Friday. I think we're on. Normally we have a monitor that's turned on here so we can see if we're on or not. But I'm assuming we're on now. Oh, hey. Oh, here comes Leon. Oh, there we go. We haven't even started the show. And my man Neon Leon is already flashing out there.
You know what you're asking for? You're asking to get ripped coming up.
Look, that's all right. Look, I get ripped now because everyone's. I think behind the scenes, I really do.
You think it's family?
I think Leon is chatting with the people, and the people. When I rip him, he's chatting with the people and turning them against me. But lo and behold, get the show started. He's been sitting in there, doodling around for the last hour and a half. And, yep, there we are, finally on. How about that? Man, one day.
Boy, he threw me off. That monitor wasn't on, and you go, we're on. And I was like, oh, did I say a bad word?
Me. I look forward to see, okay, we're on. I say we're on, but now I know we're on. But, it's the Leon quotient that in this thing that gets us going. Joe, Kim Bokamper here. Joe Rose with you. Joe's with us every Friday. You're watching the Audible on Periscope. Send your questions in. Just hashtag the Audible through Twitter. You're going to go ahead and watch us on a rebroadcast beginning tomorrow on the Miami Dolphins Facebook page, and you can see us on MiamiDolphins.com. Big one on Sunday, Joe. Man. Big one. We've gone through a stage of San Diego, the Rams, the 49ers, and all of a sudden you jump in deeper waters starting here on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. Big game for the football team, big game for the franchise, and a lot of opportunities ahead of you if you can get past this ball game.
What are we going to do in this fourth quarter? I can't wait. Man. All these wild fourth quarters that we've seen. And, Bo, more amazing than that, because you and I have been around this thing for a long time. We're going for a 7th straight win.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
You only played 16, and you're talking about trying to get to a 7th straight win. I agree it's going to be a tough one. How will the Dolphins play in the Northeast coming up in the month of December? That's a big question. It starts with Baltimore.
And, Joe, they're playing, the best defense or one of the best defenses in the league. And you look at the guys like Terrell Suggs. Elvis Dumerville's a backup. He comes in. Eric Weddle in the safety. Smith, the cornerback, looks like he's going to be ready to play for
a lot of guys. Jimmy Smith's back. You're right.
Yeah, so they've got a very, very good defense. An offense that struggles to score points. And if you're looking for an Achilles heel for the Baltimore Ravens, that's it. But I can counter that by saying, man, they have always been a tough matchup for the Miami Dolphins.
Always. The way they play. Some of the same guys still on the team. Yep. And, it's not sexy to talk about, Bo, but the third part that you haven't brought up is special teams. Yep. Probably the best combination of punter, definitely best field goal kicker in the game, but together, that combination, field position and scoring, Bo, the Dolphins are going to have to bring their big boy pants for special teams.
The head coach, John Harbaugh, that's his unit, the special teams. Make sure they're going well. And their kicker, he had 4 field goals last week, 3 of them over 50 yards, 1 of them 57 yards. So you certainly got your work cut out for you, and you've got to go up there and play. And it's I look at the weather, Joe. It's expected to be in the mid-50s. On Sunday, so they're not going to get one of those cold weather games, at least from where we're sitting right now. But Joe, this is a football game where it's you almost need all hands on deck. And speaking about all hands on deck, let me give you the injury report for the Dolphins. The only people that are out, the only person that is out is Mike Pouncey. Xavier Howard is doubtful; he's not going to play. Everyone else on this list is questionable. Brandon Albert, he'll play. He was full speed today. Kiko Alonso nursing a hamstring. He was limited today. I'm sure he'll play. Bushrod was full today with a calf injury. He'll play. Kenyon Drake, full speed. He'll play. Jelani Jenkins, probably give it a try. Earl Mitchell, limited. That we'll have to see on game time. And the one disappointing thing is the setback that Devontae Parker had with the back injury. He didn't practice all week, questionable, and I would say more doubtful than questionable, at least in my mind, Joe. I don't think he's gonna play in the game. And guard Laramie Tunsil was full speed today, so he'll play. So the big thing is you get 2 of those 3 offensive linemen back.
Left side.
And when you play against a defense like this, you need those big guys up front.
Boy, those guys, I just think psychologically having those 2 back playing, Brandon Albert and Laramie Tunsil on the left side of that line, really excited about that. But I do want to just take 1 second. Sometimes we forget about backups and the job that 6, 7, and 8 have done on that left side of the line, talking about Steen And Urbic has been unbelievable, and Sam Young has just been, Bo, what a nice job for a game and a half that those guys did.
And look, how comforting is it to know going forward that you've got those guys in there, and if they need to play. Now, Steen's going to play today or on Sunday because Pouncey's not playing, and he's done a good job, but he's a bulldog in there. That's what those guys are. They're bulldogs. They'll chew your ankles. They'll do whatever they need to get the job done. And so I'm fine with him in there. Now, look, granted, he's not Mike Pouncey. He doesn't bring the expertise that Mike Pouncey does. Mike Pouncey obviously is a better player, but I can live with Steen in there until Pouncey comes back. And now you got those other two guys back. And thanks to Urbeck and Sam Young for doing a good job for the last couple of weeks, and that's a good situation. So the Ravens look at it this way: they've got Lorenzo Taliaferro, running back, he's out. Alex Lewis, a guard, he's out. He's a rookie, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Crockett Gilmore, the tight end, he's out. Kamir Aiken, the wide receiver, questionable. Javoris Allen, the running back, he's doubtful. And the rest of the guys are all good to go. So I don't think this is a game you look at and you start looking at injuries and saying, well, we got an edge there, we got an edge there, we don't have an edge there. I think this is about this football team going up and figuring out a way to play the best they can and win a very, very tough football game, because they got another one the week after that against Buffalo.
No easy ones.
Then they got the Jets, or then they got Arizona. I'm sorry, they got Arizona next, Buffalo, the Jets, and New England. Right. And that if you can get through that minefield, Joe, and still be in the playoff hunt at the end of the season, you've done a pretty darn good job.
Right. For me, the goal is to get to 10. Get to 10, and let's see what happens. And find out how this team plays in December. I agree. I've been getting it all week, and let's see how they play. It's been great. It's a nice story, but let's see how they play in December and which guys are going to show up and play. Because now, Bo, everybody's making a run. The Baltimores are making a run. Yep. The Buffaloes are making a run. The Patriots are, I'm sure, in the back of their mind, still thinking, even with Gronkowski out home field throughout the playoffs, Dolphins took it away from them a year ago. That's right. Cost them a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so, but Joe, I tell you, the one good thing about it, and I know it's the first week of December, but playing meaningful games in December, man, it's been a long time for us. Look, we've been in games, in the last few seasons where, you're sitting there and you're a little below 500 and you can put a streak on maybe, and then you end up around 500, 9-7, 8-8, 7-9, whatever, and you don't get. But now they're playing very meaningful games with opportunity in December. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Well, and I'll add on to that is how many guys are playing well right now. That's what's so exciting. Hey, before this year started, we talked about, I'm kind of concerned about the cornerback position. Oh my gosh, we overlook. What if Arian Foster gets hurt? He's always injured. You're right. He's injured off the team. Do you ever think that'd be one of the strengths of this team? I think we've got 13 touchdowns between the three young running backs, led by, of course, Jay Ajayi right now. But Damian, Kenyon, those guys have all done a great job, man. And what a nice combination, complementing each other on what they've been able to do out of that running back position.
Look, not to overlook the tight end position. You lose your starting tight end. You lose Deion Sims for a time. Marquise Gray comes in, does a great job for you. Dominic Jones came in, did a good job for you. Sam Young was in playing a third tight end there for a while when they needed it. So, there's a lot of guys that have stepped up in a lot of positions that you were kind of scratching your head all year.
Is there one position that surprised you the most?
Cornerback's been the position the most.
Me too.
Because I thought that was really – I thought even going into the season when you had Xavier Howard, when you felt like you had the best that you're going to have, you still scratch your head worrying about him, and then you lose him, and Maxwell gets benched, and you're thinking, Tony Lippett's coming in, or what are we going to do? But, man, those guys have battled. They've figured out a way within this defense, and you got to give Vance Joseph and those coaches, Lou Anaramo and those guys, a lot of credit for getting those guys ready.
Bo, too, we could have a little problem, and a good problem to have in the future. Xavier Howard's going to be coming back probably next week against Arizona, and you're going, he was really good before he got hurt. We can't take either one of those. What a great problem to have. Rotate him.
He's got to earn his position back. Yeah. You got to get back and earn it.
Isn't that crazy?
Let's go to if you're watching the Audible here, you can go ahead and send your questions. If you're watching on Periscope, send them via Twitter, #TheAudible. You can watch us on a rebroadcast on the Miami Dolphins Facebook page beginning tomorrow and on MiamiDolphins.com. At the Native D Fan, is Sunday's game the most important win left when it comes to the wild card? Well, I think it is the most important win now when it comes to wild card, but you can't overlook, Arizona, a very talented football team that just can't seem to find their way out of the woods right now. And don't forget, you've beaten the Bills and the Jets down here. Now you got to go up there and play them, and not to mention you wrap things up on New Year's Day down here with the New England Patriots.
Well, I know one place the Miami Dolphins haven't played well in a long, long time on the road, and that's Buffalo.
Yes, no doubt.
And it's going to be a cold one, and they could be in the hunt, and they are going to be jacked up to play the Dolphins.
Yeah, no
the
doubt.
Dolphins embarrassed them pretty good, running all over them.
Every game is going to be so. The team's going to be jacked up for this one, and the Dolphins need to get themselves up to that level. T. Lubin 6. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Nothing's up. What's up with you? You're the man. I really believe this game is a fork in the road to stake their claim as a playoff team. I think it's kind of falling up with what we just talked about. No doubt, this could be the game that launches them into that spot. And Joe, I've had a lot of questions on the program this week about, we're not getting enough national coverage. The national people aren't paying attention to us. I've been watching more of the shows than I usually do. I kind of get tired of the sports centers and the NFL Network talking heads, some of them, but I've tuned in a little this week, and it seemed to be the Dolphins seem to be catching some traction with these guys. Now, if they can win this football game, then I think they vault up there.
Yeah, you win this one against Baltimore. I happen to agree. I don't think we're getting as much love as I thought we did after you win 6 straight. But, hey, that's good for the Dolphins. They're not getting a lot of love. They're not getting a lot of respect. And most people, to be honest, think Baltimore is going to beat the Dolphins this week.
Yep.
So go up and continue to do what you've been doing, taking games in the fourth quarter.
All right, at Hooked Up Joe, do you worry about our secondary getting picked apart? Well, the one thing I think you look about this football team has trouble scoring points. Talking about the Baltimore Ravens, right. I think they've had 6 games where they've scored either 1 or no touchdowns this year. So they're a football team. But you look at Joe Flacco, he's a guy who can get hot and can get the job done for you. So I worry about our secondary every week, Joe. But every week they step up and make plays.
Still waiting for that big torch job that doesn't seem to take place. And on top of that, Baltimore had 1 touchdown. They won again last week. They had 1 touchdown, and they're not afraid, Bo. If you don't get a first down, just let this guy. You're within 60 yards. They're going to let him kick it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, but I think this is one of those games where it's going to be, a game where the Dolphin defense has to step up and play well. But I think they've got to, as Coach Gaze has done throughout this whole winning streak, they got to stick with the running game, even if it's tough sledding, because he talked about it this week a little bit. Look, even though we haven't been getting big yardage when it comes to the fourth quarter, as long as we stick with it, we're usually breaking a run or two. In the fourth quarters, we kind of wear these people down a little bit.
And my other side to that is when you put your game plan together, I listen to the Ravens guys. They're going, Jay Ajayi's one of the best. We got to stop him. And that's good for play action pass. First thing I think, you're thinking about stopping the run, and then you got to get the engine going again to get to the quarterback, giving Ryan Tannehill a little more time off play action.
So you think we'll see similar to what we saw against the 49ers where they just sell out to stop the run?
No.
A little more balance with
I
this
think
team.
they're really good in their front 7, and they're saying we don't need to bring our safeties up. We're going to let them stay back there and help in coverage.
Yeah, got some pretty good cover guys there, and linebackers off our defensive line. Very good, very active group up there up front. Let me see. El Chapo Jr.
Hey, we have him all the time.
El Chapo Jr. He comes out of the hole, comes out of the tunnel every show to come on. What team that the Dolphins have already played is comparable to the Ravens? That's pretty good questions. Pretty good. Maybe San Diego. Maybe San Diego. Maybe the Jets more probably because they got the defensive front.
Big, strong
big run defense.
Front 7.
I would do that. I would say the Jets. Although the Ravens have a better quarterback situation than the Jets have. No doubt about that. Right. At Poland PC 22. Do the Dolphins have a chance to make the Super Bowl? My man is bypassing the playoffs, bypassing the rest of the season.
Slow down, my man. Slow down.
You know what they say? Pump the brakes a little bit.
Slow down. Let me see. Get to 10 wins. Get a wild card position. Win a playoff game. And then we'll start talking. But we used to get home field advantage. I got on that kick this week. Let's get home field advantage throughout the playoffs and make an easier road.
Yeah, talking about the Dolphins going to the Super Bowl this early is like thinking that Leon's going to get something right in the next 3 shows that we do. And the chances of that are very, very, very slim. At Justin Ovation, who's been the most impressive Dolphin rookie to this point, and who will be most vital down the stretch? Man, that's a tough one. To me, Tunsil's been as impressive as there is.
Good.
I mean, because, look, I know everyone's talking about maybe thinking about Kenyon Drake or Carew or one of these other guys, but for me, it's Laramie Tunsil, bar none. Yeah. When this guy lines up and plays, and I don't care what position it is, he's a player.
I agree. Whether it's guard, and I think we're going to see by far his best football when he's a full-time tackle.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that.
I don't know when it's going to take place, but he's been really good. It's not necessarily his run blocking inside, but his pass protection is those feet. Bo, I'd have loved to have those feet running routes, man. He's got some of the sweetest feet for a 300-pound guy I've seen.
Yeah, great athlete back there. And
sweet feet.
No doubt about it. Now, beyond Tunsil, before he went down, I'd have battled him with Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard came out of the box. I mean, you talk about a guy coming out of the box,
well, they think
playing at a very, very high level.
But I think we're kind of learning right now we've been able to play at a high level without him. Yeah. Although I'd like to have him back.
Well, you got to, but we talked about this a little bit earlier. He comes back and look at your depth now at cornerback that you've developed by having Maxwell play as much as he had and having Tony Lippett play as much as he's been able to. How valuable has every snap been for Tony Lippett?
Oh. His situation, because they basically told Lippett, you got to play.
Yeah.
So you got to get better every day.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And he learned, he just learned. He got better and better, and now his confidence. Bo, I watch him warm up now, and he's a confident dude, man. He's a different game now. He's like he loves taking. Hey, come after me. I love the way he's playing, and he's a big guy. The future at the cornerback position, like the running back position, is really good. Yeah.
At Donnie Rad, I don't even know, Joe. I'm going to leave this to you. Joe, what's your pick? Leon, is that all there was to that question?
What's your pick?
What's your pick? And you put that on here?
Well, let me. All right.
Who do you like? Who do you like? You like the Heat tonight, or who do you like? The Heat are off tonight.
Yeah, they won last night. Though. Yeah. Good win for them in Utah. I'm going to take a pick maybe we get to pick a college game.
Pick whatever you want. It's wide open right there.
I'm going to take Washington. I'm a big Peterson
you know what?
fan. I'm take Washington.
I'm with you.
Tonight
Washington.
Come from Colorado.
Come from Boise State, and they're playing tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm
doing. First playoff game
Beautiful,
tonight.
Nice.
First of the big games.
At Rishal 13. In the past, we haven't matched up well with Baltimore.
No.
But this team is different. It is different, but we've played different Baltimore teams. And I don't know whatever. Well, first of all, they always play good defense. Secondly, they always play good special teams. And then they'll give you what the best they've got offensively. And that's the same pattern
doing now.
that we're facing right now that we've seen now. A little different, like Holly Nada and those guys aren't there anymore.
Great tackle. And that guy played safety, that guy Ed Reed.
By the way.
How about the game he had against Pennington in the playoffs? Oh, man.
So how about this matchup? Marshall Yonda and Big Sue.
Oh.
There's a matchup to watch all day. Their right guard and Ndamukong Suh. That's going to be a battle to watch all day long.
Giddy up to it. No, I'm with you. That's a good one.
All right, where are we at here? We got that.
Boy, they're flying in, Bo.
Mr. Sierra Mist.
It's a good drink. I have an upset stomach. I throw a little Sierra Mist.
Is that one of those that people should back off on, Sierra Mist, really? With like Mountain Dew? Aren't they like?
No, Mountain Dew.
Is this the same thing?
Mountain Dew's by itself. Listen, I had a Mountain Dew addiction along with all my other addictions I had through life. But let me tell you some Mountain Dew stuff. That's a blood pressure killer.
Remember we used to do the show, and we had our camera guy, and it always had that big leader ball.
Who was that? You're right.
You remember Chris?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And he always had a Mountain Dew hat. He loves his Mountain Dew so much he had to have a hat on while he was drinking that stuff.
That's a great drink, man.
I don't know if
Mountain Dew's good, but
he may not still be alive.
You don't like sleeping. It's a great drink.
Yeah. Mr. Sierra, well, let's go. At Mr. Sierra Mist, when will all the starters on the O-line be healthy to play again? Well, that all depends on Pouncey. I don't have a feel at all. Usually you can kind of get a feel for guys when they may be coming back, like Xavier. He's not going to play this week, but maybe next week. And but man, when Pouncey comes back, I don't know, Joe. That's a concern to me.
It is, but in a perfect world,
the reoccurrence
keeps popping up
of those injuries is really concerning to me.
Yeah, but if I could have him back for the last 3 games in the division, which would be Buffalo, New York, and back home against New England. and then give him this week and next week off, that would be great. But, Bo, you're right. We usually start to hear like he's coming back. He's practicing a little bit. He's coming around. We haven't had that with Pouncey
not a whole
far.
lot with Pouncey. No. And quite frankly, I'm looking at Pouncey long term and how this thing could affect him, because you have recurrences like that, and it's tough. At New Jersey Dolphin fan, I wonder if that's the guy. I used to run into a guy down in the Jersey Shore. I'd go to the Jersey Shore and always ran into a Dolphin fan down there when I used to go.
Dolphin fans up in the New Jersey area. Ton of them.
Talk about Jarvis cleats for a cause. I don't know what kind of cleats Jarvis is wearing, because this week they've got they're allowed to wear. You're allowed to wear any cleats you want
for charity.
as long as there's a charity.
Yeah,
they're charity
during the
driven.
game, not warm-ups.
Yeah, during the game.
Because Jarvis wears some unbelievable wild shoes in warm-ups, but he changes them before the game starts.
You don't want to pay that. You don't want to pay the.
No, because he ain't making that extra pay yet, so it's pretty smart.
You think he will make that extra pay?
Yes, I think he's gonna make out just right here, just fine.
There's a couple guys in this team. I'd like to see him sign them right now and lock them up, get a little bit of a.
I'll tell you, guys playing out of his mind that they got to think. Discussions have started in the building right next to us here, and that is Kiko Alonso.
Yeah,
he's a young guy, and four fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, 1 pick six at 1 a game, and he's gonna go over 100 tackles this week.
I'll give you Kiko Alonso. I'll give you Andre Branch too. Is another guy that came in, a young guy, 4 years in the league, in his 5th year. I mean, you got this guy
sacks,
I mean,
a lot of pressures.
Yep, doing a good job.
Yep.
Tanny at Tanny17. Ryan Tannehill sends in a question.
All right. Huh? What do you got for us, Ryan?
Ryan, what do you think about that? What impact will Carew have on Sunday? Well, I tell you, he scored a touchdown last week when Devontae went down. Came in and put 6 on the board.
Got to play Bo a lot. He's
going to have to play a lot this week, and you know what? We'll see. I think the narrative on him has been he's got to get better at his route running to play at this level. He's had a lot of work on it, so we'll kind of see Sunday, what the results of that are.
He got to stay focused, man, because he got to discuss right after the game, like, hey, you got to get your butt ready to play mentally and understand that this is your opportunity. We're going to have to throw you some footballs against Baltimore. If Parker can't play, I don't think Parker's going to play.
I don't think so.
So Carew's there's 3 wide receivers that you're going to start. Unless you go double tight end, there's a good chance, and probably 60, 70% of the snaps, if not more, are going to be 3 wide receiver, which means Carew's going to be playing. You got to throw it to him. You can't just have him out there and just throw to 2 guys, Kenny Stills and Jarvis Landry.
How productive is that wide? If you guys look, what happens if Carew comes out and he catches 5 balls on Sunday and becomes a guy that you can start counting on a little bit more, and then you look at the depth of that receiving core. Devontae comes back. They like Carew. No question. No question. Big, strong guy. It's just about getting him up to game speed. Yeah. But boy, you get him going with Devontae, with Jarvis, with Kenny. Well, I tell you what, you got a lot of different opportunities.
All do different things well, which is why they like it. They complement each other so well.
And then throw the tight ends in there on that too, with Deion Sims playing
tell you what, Deion Sims played his best game as a pass receiver a week ago, coming off all the concussion issues. He can be a weapon. I was so glad, Bo, to see him going down the hash marks, throwing the ball down the middle, making the safeties and linebackers play. God, it was refreshing. We just haven't done it a lot.
Opens a lot of stuff out outside of the numbers, no doubt about that. Hey, you're watching the Audible here. Excuse me, if you're watching it on, I'm starting to get that cold, Joe. A lot of people are starting to get cold around here.
I'm not kissing you, so you're safe.
You're safe that you're never going to kiss me, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I'll drink some water here. Look at my man Leon.
You go like this. Want the water?
He gives me the drink some water. That's what I get. For all the money that they're paying this guy. Thank God it's not coming out of my pocket. All the money, that's what I get. Drink some water.
He's doing, that's good stuff right there.
Sally Cream Cheese, at Sally Cream Cheese. When was the last time? By the way, Joe, what's your Twitter handle? Let's go to at Sally Cream Cheese. When was the last time you felt good about Dolphins football in December? It's been a while, man. Wow, it has been a while, and we talked about it a little earlier.
Long time.
Joe,
I know the year it was.
We were very fortunate during our career.
Right.
Played with a lot of good football players and had some good teams. And December was always important for us, and we always played well in December. Well, I'd love to see this football team use this year to be the year where they get back and win 3 out of 4 games in December or something like that.
Yeah, listen, I will tell you it's mindset, though. I remember coming to camp in the early 80s, and the goal was to get home field advantage. I don't even remember talking about let's win the AFC East.
No.
It was that New England Patriot thing that's been going on for 15-plus years. It was like, let's get home field.
It's always funny because you always see now like the teams win the AFC East or they win the NFC West or whatever, and they got hats and T-shirts.
Yeah.
You ever get a hat and T-shirt?
No, I didn't.
Because it was just, it wasn't even, you came, I remember we'd win a game to win the AFC East, and you'd come into practice on Monday, and no difference whatsoever.
No,
not even
practice the same way.
Let's just get ready. We got a football game to play this week. At Sir Daniel Alex 1, remember D. Williams, the sleeper. He ran a great misdirection play, would be great for a Jai.
Damian Williams, he's talking about when they go with those two guys together and running almost that fullback on the dive off the fake. It's been a great play for him. They've had success. Hey, Damian Williams, man. And they realize in Adam Gase, this is where he's just so good, Bo. He sees that they're going to have a linebacker one-on-one, and Damian Williams shoots out, and he's getting the ball. We've seen him have success. Guy does a little bit of everything. Got great hands, and he's the best blocking running back they have for the blitz. So
and it gives you a guy that a running back you can put in as a fullback that'll block for you without having to have a true fullback on your roster. So he's been a really, and I tell you what, you talk to him and he's just the kind of guy you want to have on your football team.
He's hungry. Oh, you know what? Are we talking about Adam Gase getting a lot out of a lot of guys?
Yeah, man.
We haven't talked much about Adam Gase.
No.
But you know what? I know it's about the players and the players play the game, but man, Adam Gase is pushing the right buttons, Bo, in what he's doing in this whole culture over here on these fields.
I don't think there's any question about it. And I tell you what, the guy, you know what, you're never. None of those players are ever going to complain that he's not working hard enough either.
No,
my man is a football junkie. I mean, he's a football junkie from
about
day one.
Communication with him. I'm like, wow, imagine that. Like he communicates with everybody. Right. Like the guys all feel like they relate to him because he communicates.
Yeah, he communicates, but he's not afraid to discipline guys. He's not afraid to.
He tells you where you stand.
Let you know exactly.
Guys like to know the truth.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Don't BS me or don't not tell me anything and then do something to piss me off.
H. Malpa.
What do you got there, Bo? What's H. Malpa want?
That kid from the practice squad. Will he play?
Let's just go. Not this week.
Huh?
Not this week. That kid.
He's talking about Rashawn Scott.
Oh.
The receiver.
Oh, 87.
Just got picked up from the practice squad. Got moved up from there.
Bo, he's going to be...
Leon, you couldn't have put that in there for me.
I think he's going to be active this week.
Yeah, he is going to be active this week. They need to have a
watch out.
Need to have
Canes
the body.
Fans get fired up, man. They've been raving about him since camp.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough to put him on practice squad, and he caught a lot of footballs at UM.
He'll get some chances. At Native D fan, would you be upset if we made the playoffs but lost in the first round? I wouldn't be upset if they made the playoffs no matter what happens.
Hallelujah, brothers and sisters. Any kind of wild card, anything that says playoffs, when the season's over, Dolphins in a wild card traveling to anywhere out west.
It don't matter.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to enjoy it.
Mexico City, you name it.
I'm getting liquored up after that game. I'm getting liquored up the night before that game.
Tell us where and we'll go. No doubt about that. Upset if you know. I tell you what, the more and more I'm starting to believe that this is a football team that if they don't make the playoffs this year, they are set to be I think they've got enough of a foundation or built enough of a foundation this year. If they can add on to it with another draft and bring in two things, get rid of the guys you don't believe can play at the level you want them to play, and bring in guys that have the heart to play the game the way you want it to play. Then we could be in on a little bit of a playoff run here, and that's what I'm looking for. I forget this 1 year and then don't do it again for another 8 or 10 years.
The Chad Pennington 1 year special was a great tease.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Bo. Let's build it. We've seen, these last couple of drafts have actually have something to offer that we can get excited about.
No doubt. Twitter, do you guys have any plans of extending this show to an hour? You would have to talk to the higher ups there. I could probably do it for an hour.
Who's our boss, by the way, Bo?
I'm not sure who our boss is. I think our boss is. I'm not sure who our boss is.
Ray Donovan.
I think, who I think our boss is? Double J. JJ, Jason Jenkins.
Ray Donovan. His name. He puts out fires all over. He's the best.
He's the guy that we got to talk to about that. Yeah. I know I'd do it. Joe would probably want a lot more money, which probably eliminate you. I would probably have some.
I was thinking that, I'll stay a little longer, but
I would have to have somebody else come in on Fridays because Joe.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah,
no, it's all right.
Yeah, we could squeeze another. At Peter M. Joy, what have you two noticed is different with this team when you're around them? Joe, that's.
Bo and I spent 10 days with them, and I got to know a lot of the guys that I kind of knew just to say hello. But actually, can I say this? A little quality time with some of the guys on the team. They're a close group. This is a close group, finally, of guys that got each other's backs, and it's really refreshing to see at dinner 7 or 8 guys together. Bo, we used to do that, and it's good to see them. Really good leadership, guys that we've been ripping that we didn't think were very good leaders, leading their group. So that would be the one thing that I've seen, Bo.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Joe. This is as tight a football team as I've seen in a long time, and it's tough to do these days. You got about a 40% turnover rate on every team in the National Football League every year, and to get that chemistry going. Look, probably New England, Dallas, maybe 2 of the teams that have been able to do it and sustain it over years, but the very few teams have been able to do it, and hopefully they've got the nucleus of a team that can continue to do that over the years. But I'm with you. This is as close of a football team, and guys that care about the other guy. Guy makes a mistake in a game, drops a ball, makes a mental error, whatever. Guys aren't ragging on him. They're coming over the sideline, lifting him up. Hey, I know you won't let it happen again. We got you covered. And we haven't seen that around here for a long time. So to me, that's no doubt about that. That's the biggest difference that I've noticed in this football team.
From last year to this year, all the stuff from a year ago, it's incredible that this is the same uniform that we saw a year ago, the way these guys are playing. A lot of the same guys are on this team that are playing really well from a year ago.
And you look at guys, Ndamukong Suh came in last year, kind of quiet, kind of to himself. He's become a vocal guy out there. Cam Wake has become more of a vocal guy out there. Brandon Albert is probably one of the best leaders at any position out in the football field. And look, Ryan Tannehill has taken a different role on this football team. He's not afraid to point guys out if they're doing something wrong that he needs to have done another way. So I think there's a big change, and a lot of it has to do with Coach Gay's putting it on their shoulders. Hey, you guys have to police this football team yourself. You guys got to take care of some of this stuff that, I'm not going to be around you every minute of the day.
Right. That's part of that communication thing. I saw what he did between games when we got off the bus after they won the game against the Chargers.
Yep.
They're already talking, sitting in there talking to their coach, like after the game, sitting in the back where they're all dining and stuff and sitting around. I was like, wow, after a game, hanging out with your coach.
Yep. Yeah, pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, that's going to do it for today, man.
That's it?
Sunday afternoon in Baltimore, 1 o'clock, Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. A huge football game for this team, for the franchise, for the fan base. And, Joe, hopefully we come back on Monday. We're talking about another big win, 7 in a row. That would be awesome.
Oh, my gosh, that's a big number. It's going to be fun. I think we're in for a great ball game. We got more fourth quarter magic. Hope so.
Should we, John, I'm serious about this, too. Should I
What?
So I maybe try to look for a replacement for Leon in there. I mean, he's getting a little.
No, you got to keep him.
Yes.
Can I talk to you two off the air a little bit?
Yeah, we got to have a little bit of a.
Leon's
we need an intervention. We need an intervention.
He's not a bad guy.
No, he's not a bad guy.
I mean, he slipped up a little bit on the monitor
goodness.
today,
I mean,
but he's fine.
Whatever. All right.
He's not a bad guy.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.
Struggles in relationships, but he's not a bad guy.
With the women.
Yeah, he struggles with the ladies. He came clean at the last game. I go, what's wrong, Leon? He goes, struggling with the ladies. Struggling with the ladies.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, we'll get that straightened
up. Not to get into his personal life.
Get
it's
that
nobody's
business.
Too,
right?
It's really nobody's business.
We'll have Logan give him some tips on how to handle the ladies. That's going to do it for the Audible. We'll see you on Monday. Hopefully another Dolphins win. Have a good weekend. We'll see you then.